Hey guys, Rick back from Maple Syrup Tech. So today we're coming back with another episode of Maple Syrup News, and we're going to be focused primarily today on AMD Ryzen Threadripper. It is the biggest news in the past week because the embargo has lifted, at least for the unboxing and overviews. You can't get any performance numbers yet, but pretty much everything else has been unveiled for AMD Threadripper. I'm going to be honest with you guys though, right now for the channel, budget-wise, I'm probably not going to be able to bring in Threadripper at the moment. Anyway, for the moment, I want to focus my channel more on budget builds, and Threadripper is more the high-end PC building. Doesn't mean we won't get there one day, but for the moment, it's not in the cards for the recent future. But that doesn't mean that we can't look together at a good overview of what's going to be available and what exactly to expect from Threadripper. So for anyone, like I said, not in the loop at all, Threadripper is AMD's high-end desktop PC platform. It's the first time AMD is going to compete with Intel on this end, because before AMD was mainly focused on mainstream. So basically, Threadripper is a sort of downgraded version of Epic, which is their server platform that will be brought in for the desktop PC. If you want more details, you can actually go look at Der Bauer's videos. He pretty much explains to you that the basic processor is almost physically the same as an Epic CPU. They've just deactivated 2 of the 4 dies, basically, that are on there. So anyway, we won't go into more details into that because it's not the focus of the video. The video today is, like I said, news and getting to know what the platform's going to offer, what are going to be the options when it launches officially. Right now it's available for pre-orders and you have 2 CPUs to choose from. You also have 4 motherboards. So the 4 motherboards that are available at launch, let me just bring myself down here a bit. Okay, so you're going to have the ASRock X399 Tai Chi, the Asus ROG Zenith Extreme, Gigabyte X399 Aorus Gaming, sorry about that, and the MSI X399 Gaming Pro Carbon. So all motherboards are going to be quad channel memory. You're going to have a really vast array of peripheral compatibility. Most of them have at least 2 times PCIe times 16 and at least 2 times PCIe times 8. Most of them support 3 or more M.2 drives, and of course you're going to have a plethora of USB 3. If you want an overview on more of each board, I'm going to try to come with them as we go, but a lot of people have already done unboxings specifically on the Asus and ASRock boards. I haven't seen any on the Gigabyte or MSI boards, but they look like very good boards. I mean, feature rich, and it's really a high-end profile. They're all going to offer at least 36 PCIe Express lanes, which is going to be a first because Intel on their high-end platform, for anyone who's been following, your actuals, depending on the CPU you're going to be using, the PCIe lanes are going to upgrade. Like on base the entry-level CPUs for the X299, if I'm not mistaken, start with 16 PCIe lanes and they upgrade from there to 24 and so forth. With basically Threadripper, you're going to have 36 PCIe lanes no matter which CPU you're buying. And we're going to get to the CPUs in a second. So to start with, you have a pretty decent selection. It's a high-end platform, so you're not going to have probably as many boards as the entry-level series, as the mainstream, simply because they're not interested in making budget boards necessarily. You're going to have all feature-rich boards. Also, for anyone who's missed it, Linus has talked about it, and he's had the exclusive launching of it. But it's the Alienware Threadripper Special Edition. Give me a sec here. I'm just going to pop myself up to normal size. There we go. So basically, Alienware has already released pre-orders for the Area 51 Threadripper Edition, which has Vega included as a graphics processor. So it's a very nice unit. You can go see Linus's review of it. However, he does say, however, that price-wise, you're maybe better off waiting because you're probably going to have boutique options that are going to be coming in at better prices than the Alienware Area 51 Threadripper. But if you want absolutely the first PC launching with Threadripper included, this is the option for you, and it's a very good machine. So let's get to the two processors. So to begin with, AMD is launching with two processors, and at the end of the month there's going to be a third processor. If I'm not mistaken, the one at the end of the month is going to be pre-ordered somewhere around $599, I believe, US, or $499 US. I'm sorry about the price, but right now it's not on the official site. I know I saw the prices elsewhere, but it's not in what we're looking at today. We're going to get to that when it launches at the end of the month, but just to let you know, the one that's launching at the end of the month really quickly is an 8-core 16-thread. It's pretty much like an 1800X. It gives you like an entry into the high-level platform. So someone who wants to have the extra PCIe lanes, all the features of the high-end platform, but doesn't necessarily want to invest too much more in the CPU, you'll have that CPU launching at the end of the month. But the two CPUs to start with that are already launched is the 1950X and the 1920X. So the 1950X is going to offer 16 cores, 32 threads. It's going to have a base clock speed of 3.4 and a turbo of 4 gigahertz. And the frequency adjustment that AMD says is that if you have decent cooling, each CPU should be able to hit up to 200 megahertz above the boost clock if you have adequate cooling for the CPU. So that means that theoretically the 1950X should be able to hit 4.2. Same thing on the 1920X because it's actually the same. It starts at 3.5 gigahertz, boosts to 4 gigahertz, and this is a 12-core, 24-thread CPU. So actually, for the first time, AMD is going to have a clock advantage over Intel, so it's going to be interesting to see. I'm really looking forward to seeing the actual performance specs on these CPUs. I won't be getting them in, so I'm going to be following them like you guys through other reviews, and we're going to look over them on the channel ourselves to see what it's offering. And for the prices, well, the 1920X is going to be launching at $799 plus tax US, and the 1950X is going to be launching at $999 US, which is awesome prices. It's almost half of what Intel is offering on their CPUs. So it's really right now gonna shake up the market. That's why I'm really excited to see what the actual performance is going to be like. So this is pretty much an overview of everything Threadripper is going to be offering for the moment. Like I said, we're going to be going into more details as we go. What I wanted today is really get an overview for anyone that wanted basic information about Threadripper, and it was the biggest information this week. And there's only actually one other story we're going to look at, which is the Intel Coffee Lake. Because Intel has also announced that on August 21st, they're going to be launching Coffee Lake, which is the next platform for the Intel general everyday processor. And actually, one of the interesting facts is that Intel is actually going to be changing sockets once again. What really makes this interesting is it's the first time for anyone who's currently building a PC where it's guaranteed that either you're going to have to invest in a whole new platform with AMD or Intel. Because right now, people who are upgrading and already are on the current Intel platform, they can upgrade and you don't have to reinvest in a new motherboard, new memory, and whatnot. However, for the first time, since you have to change sockets, you're actually going to have to invest in it. And that's something actually really important. I just wanted to slip in there. Right now, investing in Skylake or Kaby Lake, to me, sounds really bad just because since now we know that the next platform will not be the same socket, that means if you buy a new motherboard and a new platform right now, you're stuck with what's available right now. However, if you invest in AMD right now, you can actually, they've said that they're guaranteeing the same socket till 2020, which probably means that you're going to be getting between 1 or 2 more generations of CPUs. Pretty interesting. Probably going to be the same thing for Coffee Lake. So if anyone is really wanting to jump on the Intel ship right now, I would say wait till Coffee Lake comes around, because investing in Skylake or Kaby Lake right now seems to me like a bad idea just because you're bottlenecking yourselves for the next like 2 to 3 years to know that you'll have nothing compatible coming out. While if you wait for Coffee Lake or if you jump on Ryzen, you're probably going to have at least 1 or 2 generations of CPUs still coming to you. But nonetheless, let's look over really quick. We're not going to look at every CPU like we did for Threadripper. I'm going to link the article in the description below. So this is from WCCF Tech. Okay, but they've announced apparently a whole spectrum of i7s. So, well, i7 8700K and the 8700. It's going to be launching, like I said, at base clock speeds are going to be at 3.7 for the 8700K and 3.2 for the 8700 regular. Max, the boost speed is going to be 4.7. So once again, very high clocks coming from Intel. So, I mean, these are going to be interesting CPUs to compare to the Ryzen platform. And basically here, you have the full lineup that's expected at launch, which is the i3, i5s, and whatnot. And for the first time, i5s are supposed to have 6 cores, 6 threads. So that's actually going to be interesting now to compare to the current AMD lineup once again. And like I said, i7s are going to have 6 cores, 12 threads. Interesting. There's still a thread advantage with AMD, but there's a clock advantage with Intel. So it's going to be really interesting to see what all this works out to in real life performance and whatnot. So I invite you guys to read through the whole article, really get an idea of what's upcoming for Coffee Lake. And just a shout out, like I said, if you're looking at building a new system right now, I would go with Ryzen or I would wait till Coffee Lake. I wouldn't jump on the Skylake or Kaby Lake bandwagon. I know I'm repeating myself, but you know, that's what the point of this channel is to make sure that people are investing in the best budget, you know, best things for your budget. And right now it just seems like a bad investment, Skylake and Kaby Lake, simply because you know you're bottlenecking yourself and the prices haven't really come down all that much on any of the CPUs other than the i3 7350K there, the overclockable one, which has dropped because Ryzen 3 has come out. So, I hope you guys liked the video as usual. This was the news I wanted to go over with you guys for this week. I know I'm a day late on the video. Unfortunately, we were very busy on the weekend. I had a special event on Sunday, so I couldn't make the video on at the regular time. So I hope you guys, like I said, appreciate the video. Likes are very appreciated. And subscriptions are really loved. It helps the channel a lot. I know I say it every video, but if I want to grow and be able to get better content and actually, you know, looking at stuff with you, the more views, the more likes, the more subscriptions I get, the faster I'll be able to get things out there for you guys. So I love doing this and I want to keep doing it. So I'll see you guys in the next video.